you want to know how I run my 7-figure white label marketing agency, I'm going to tell you one tool that made it possible for us to jump to maybe like 500K in annual revenue all the way up to $2 million in annual revenue in a matter of months. ClickUp. I cannot tell you how great this software is. ClickUp. It's a task management and in CRM. It is really a operating system that allows you and your entire team to get on the same page. And I want to kind of share a story about we were using Slack for our project management. It was absolutely ridiculous. So this was several years ago in the business, by the way. Obviously, some things have changed, but I wanted to give you, agency owner, insight into what to use. I know a lot of agencies, they think about using Basecamp, or they think about using Rike, or they think about using Keep, or they think about using Trello, or they think about using Asana or Monday.com. And those are fine tools. Hear me out, agency owner, when I say if you do not have one of those tools, get one of those tools, right? I love ClickUp. I think you should be using ClickUp, but you don't have to use ClickUp. But you need a project management tool. You need a operating system that plugs into everything else for your team, right? So back in the day, back in the garage days of Advirtis, we had Slack, and we still have Slack. We have co-Slack channels with all of our agency partners. We have hundreds of Slack channels for instant communication, and we have a really streamlined process for that. But before, we just only had Slack, right? So Slack was, in essence, kind of like our project management tool. A agency partner would chime in and say, hey, can you please get this done? And we would say, oh, yes, right away. And then we would create an internal Slack channel. So we have an external Slack channel that was with the agency partner and the client. Then we have an internal Slack channel where we would rush and we'd say, hey, teammate, please get these ads live, or please add more budget, or please focus on this topic for the SEO work for this month, whatever it is, right? And that got obnoxious really fast. We found that our team was creating reminders for themselves, was having like a running to-do list, and it was a pain to manage the work. There was so much work coming at us. God, right? I prayed to eat, and now I say I'm full. But we had so much work coming at us, and because of all that work, we couldn't manage it well, and our leadership team could not manage our operations team to ensure that the service delivery was done on time and done efficiently. And so we had a year of hyper growth, a couple of years of hyper growth, but that specific year we had a year of hyper growth, and we added on more people to the team. Our revenue doubled, our team size doubled, everything doubled. And all of a sudden, we were messaging multiple people for multiple jobs, for multiple tasks, and we just couldn't keep track of it all in our brains, unfortunately. And so I can tell you, I actually tried implementing several operating systems, several project management tools. I tried implementing Teamwork. Again, not knocking these tools, it just wasn't what clicked for us. I tried leveraging Monday.com. I actually used that for another company that I was over the marketing in, and Monday.com worked really, really well for that team, but it just didn't quite click for Advirtis. And then I also tried Trello, the paid version, not the free version, where you get a lot more features, and that didn't quite work out either. And it was so disheartening because I would come up with a project management system, I would pitch it to the team would be like, all right, let's try it, and then it just never latched on. They kind of kept defaulting to just messages in Slack. And if you know anything about Slack, maybe you're not familiar with Slack, you need to get familiar with it if you're in the agency space, but it's kind of like email. It's instant messaging email. And it's like managing all your workload in an email string. And that's terrible. That is obnoxious. Slack is not your project management system. So if you're an agency and you feel like Slack is your project management system, and you feel so stressed and you're wondering, why are things falling through the cracks? Why is my team not able to be held accountable? Why am I having a trouble as a leader holding the rest of my team accountable? It's probably because you don't have a dedicated project management system. You don't have a dedicated operating system for running your business day to day, right? Everyone loves to talk about CRMs, right? And CRMs are important. They're good. And yes, ClickUp can act as a CRM. But your CRM is mainly for top of funnel, filling up your pipeline, getting that new sales. It's not for your operations to work out of. They should honestly be separate. Your sales team should be in your CRM. That's top of funnel. That's getting net new work in. And then your ClickUp or your operating system or your project management tool, whatever software you decide, that should be just for your service delivery. That should just be for your account management, your client success managers. That should be for your Google ad specialists, your Facebook ad specialists. That should be for your SEO team. That should be for your marketing managers. That should be for your designer. However your team looks, right? And agencies, a million of them out there, right? But that is where your service delivery team should be operating out of. So if you look here, I created a blank space in my ClickUp called ClickUp YouTube. And what's really cool about ClickUp is it does lots of other things like team whenever we get a new account or maybe an agency partner wants a strategy built out for a prospect that they're pitching, or maybe they want an audit created for somebody that they're pitching, a client that they're pitching, forms for them that they fill out, boop, pops right into our workflow here in ClickUp, and then our team works on it from there. And then my account managers, what they do is they come into here and then they task work out after getting off of a meeting or a client messaging us in Slack, right? Slack is now just our communication 90% of the time with our agency partners. ClickUp is where all the tasks that come from Slack go into, right? And then all the net new work that is onboarded gets automatically added to ClickUp as well. And it's been a game changer for our business. It's allowed us to scale to multiple seven figures. And I can't recommend it enough. So the cool thing about this is that you can actually look at ClickUp in different views. So let's pretend I'm an agency. So let's say that this list is called roofing. So roofing client. So that's a list. And let's say we want to create another list. Here we go. And this other list is going to be called manufacturing clients. Great. And then we're going to have another list called commerce client. Grand. So we got 3 clients in here. And what's cool about this is that you can actually create templates. And those templates can actually tell you, like, you can customize each of those templates for very specific work that you do repeatedly over and over again. So for instance, for us, when we go click here, we go to add tasks, and we go to browse templates. And then from here, we go to create Google Ads campaigns, right? Use template. So that task was now just created immediately in the space. And if you click on it, you can already see that it's to do, and you already see that it's a checklist with 19 items that need to be done to create this Google ad campaign successfully. And then my account manager can go in here, assign a due date to it, say due today, and then they can assign the signee to maybe me, and then the priority level can be high, and then you have activities in the comments here. And what's really cool about this is that you see this task right here in list mode, but you can create other modes too. So if you like the Trello Kanban board, right, or Kanban, however you want to pronounce it, you can do it this way as well, right? And you can move each of these through the lists. That's really awesome. And what's even cooler about ClickUp is, let's say you want to add a in-client review status, right? So it's technically out of your agency's hands. You want the client to review this. You need the client to say yes, that these Google ad campaigns look good. Well, what's cool about this is you can edit the status for these, and you can add a new status called in-client review, right? So in-client review, just you can either do it in your whole space or you can do it in your list. So now it's called in-client review, and now you move it along to in progress, in-client review, and complete, and you can add as many of these as you want. What's also cool about this is that you saw that there's a checklist, right, of a bunch of items, and it says this task has 38 unresolved items. Awesome. It is reminding my team, my specialists, that as you move this task through from in progress to in client review to completed, that you have to complete all the work that's inside the task first. So it's prompting you to say resolve all 38 items. And if I click X, I'm like, oh, great. Now I need to go back. I need to look in and be like, what are all the items I need to resolve? Well, I probably need to check all these off and some of the subtasks off. That's what I love about ClickUp, is that the accountability is there. Now, from an agency owner perspective, if you're ever wondering, boy, I feel like I don't know if my team is on the ball when it comes to my roofing client. What is happening? What needs to change? What is going on? Well, you can easily just go to the list for your roofing client, look at the tasks, and say to yourself, whoa, whoa, whoa. It just says create Google Ads campaigns, but there's no task for creating a Facebook ad campaign, no task for getting the website onboarded, there's no task for getting access to Search Console and getting access to analytics. Like, what is going on here? And then you realize that's the gap. My team wasn't tasked, assigned, or know what the next step is for this account. Even though you as an agency owner inherently know what the next step is for all of your clients, most likely you just peek your head and you're like, well, this is the next thing that needs to happen. They won't. Your team is never going to be as good as you are, agency owner, in your business. They're not. You can hope that they're going to be maybe 70, maybe 60% as good as you, but they're never going to be as good as you, right? So this is why you always hear people harping on systems and processes. This is one of those systems. This is one of those processes. Whenever a new account comes in, they need a template to create a Google Ads campaign. This is a template with this checklist, and it needs to be assigned to this person and this due date. And then that automatically gets dropped into here. And then the process then triggers and continues, right? Because I've found, we've hired and let go quite a few people for our team over several years. And it seems like every time we grow and we reach that new scale, it seems like, we need to add levels of talent to our team. And I find that most people are capable. They just don't know the tribal knowledge of your business, and they need to be told. Most people care. They want to do a good job in their work, in their 9 to 5. They do. They just don't know that they're falling short in certain areas unless they're trained, unless they're coached, unless they're told so, right? So, and who knows, maybe it's in there and you're like, where's the Facebook ads campaign? It's like, oh, well, I spoke with the client and they said that they want to hold off on that until next month. And it's like, that's information that should have been shared then. Makes sense why it's not here in ClickUp. But the accountability factor is there versus a message just staying in Slack and dying in Slack. So again, there's a lot of project management tools that you can use and leverage as a very high level of some of the items that we've used before for our business. But just know this, please don't use Slack as your project management tool. From me to you, we work with 200 plus other marketing agencies, and we do white label service fulfillment for their clients under those agencies' brands. And we do white label Google Ads, white label SEO, white label PPC, white label web dev, white label programmatic, radio and TV. We do it all. And I can tell you that the agencies that are really successful that we partner with, they have their project management down. Their project management tool is down to a T because it offers clarity and accountability across all fronts. You cannot scale without this. So please check out ClickUp if you haven't. And or you can do one of the other project management tools that I discussed earlier. Like I said before, the main thing is you just need to get on one. If you're not on one and you're just using email or just using Slack, you need to get on a project management system ASAP. And at the end of the day, I'm just a marketer trying to help other marketers to grow, to scale, to be better. And I hope this served you well. Have a good one.